Hello guys, I'm back. I'm so sorry. என்னோட வைஃபை வந்து நான் கனெக்ட் பண்ண மறந்துட்டேன். ஸோ அதனால போய் நான் கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு வந்தேன். அண்ட் மதுக்காக நம்ம வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஒரு நிமிஷம் நான் உங்களுக்கு ரெக்வஸ்ட் கொடுக்குறேன். ஓ மை காட். இது வந்து நான் ஆக்சுவலி இங்கே லைட்டில் வந்து ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். அதனால என்னால் டைப்பே பண்ண முடியல. ஹலோ எவ்ரிபடி. பப்ஜி விளாடுறீங்க பட் பேச மாட்டேறீங்க. நான் பப்ஜி வந்து என் ஃபேமிலி மெம்பர்ஸ் கூட தான் நான் விளையாடிட்டு இருக்கேன். வேறு யார் கூடயும் விளாடல. ஹாய் வில்ஃப், ஹாய் தீபக். எஸ், ஸோ மச். Hi Madhu,
Hey, hi, Harita.
how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. You look so pretty.
Thank you. I have to return the compliment.
Thank you so much. So Madhu, we have 42 views now. So why don't you
Okay.
introduce yourself? Because it's better you introduce yourself than I'm introducing you, right?
Okay. Whenever I'm asked for an introduction, I'll always start with saying that I'm a mother. I'm a
Yeah.
mother first. That's my primary identity. And by degree, I'm a clinical psychologist, and
Oh
I
wow.
currently work in HR. I've been in
Okay.
HR and learning and development and organizational behavior for the last 20 years.
Okay.
Right.
So what's
And
your age, Madhu? Sorry. Yeah, continue.
47. I'm
Oh,
47.
great.
I will be
Huh?
48 very soon. Half
It's
century almost of the planet.
great, actually great. So, what's your son and daughter doing? Like,
My
how
son's
old
doing his
are they?
final. Yeah.
Huh.
My son Nishant is 21 years old and he's
Oh,
finishing his final year in degree. And my daughter Dia, she's 17. She's in second PUC. Both are
oh,
studying
that's great.
psychology like the mother.
Great. Um, so you said everything, and what's your worst crash you have been described briefly? So, worst crash.
I've been riding bikes. Yeah, I've been riding bikes for the last 40 years. I think I
Mm-hmm.
started when I was around 6, 7 years old. So there have been many crashes. And
Okay.
there's one crash I remember particularly was when I was in college, and a very good biker friend of mine and me had taken the bike to Nandi Hills, and
Okay.
I lost control of the bike and I smashed it very badly. And
Oh,
thankfully, no broken bones, but I had terrible skin lacerations. It took almost 3 months to heal. A lot of ligament and tendon had smashed out. So I
oh
always
my
remember
God.
that crash.
So I have so many questions to ask you. Like, I have notes, so I'll just
Okay,
keep on asking. Some
sure,
experience
sure.
you have learned throughout your racing journey?
Sorry, Harita, I couldn't get that.
Yeah, some experience you have learned throughout your racing journey. Like some experience,
Um,
the experience which you got from racing.
Racing teaches you a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think one of the key takeaways from the world of racing is absolutely focused concentration. When you are racing and you're flying your bike in at say 150, 160, pretty much in the 150 cc category that I race in, and you're flying at that kind of speed,
Mm.
you cannot be thinking of anything else. Concentration. I would think that
Yeah.
that's one of the key takeaway. It's concentration. You need to be so focused. You
Yes.
can't be thinking of anything else when you're in that particular situation. So it's you, it's the road ahead of you, your track, and it's your bike, and that's all you can think about.
Yeah. If we think about something else, we'll end up in crash.
Absolutely. You can't be
Yeah,
distracted. I think it's
yeah.
very focused, like a magnifying glass. If you have to focus the sun rays, it literally burns you. So I think that's how you need to be. You need to be so focused that you get set on fire.
Exactly. So, what is something you would say to the young girl of yourself? Like when you were young, no, in the age of like 15, 16, that time, like what will you say to your young self?
Oh, I have lots
Who
of things
knows
to
what?
say. In terms of racing, I'll say I shouldn't have listened to mom and dad. I should have taken
Exactly.
that bike and hit the track.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. So, next
Yeah,
question.
back then it was like, you crash, you do this, you got to get married.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
I would say no, don't listen to mom and dad.
That's true. So, a few lines for the aspiring women racers. Like there are so many
One thing I,
girls who are
yeah.
interested in racing, but they are not pursuing their passion because of family struggles or family. They are not allowing them to race, and so many stuffs are there. So, what would you
Yeah.
like to say to them? Yeah,
Couple of things, couple of things. One thing is, as a woman rider, male rider, I don't see particular distinction as such because I think the bike does not understand if you're a boy or a girl, right? The
exactly.
bike just
Yes.
understands the person that rides it. That's it.
Yeah.
So to girls who are interested in racing and want to pursue a career in racing or want to be here just for the love of the sport, I think it is the same with any other sport. If
Exactly.
if you want
Yes.
to pick up a particular sport, yeah, it requires the same dedication, it requires the same amount of practice, it requires the same amount of loneliness when you are in practice. Everyone just sees the glamour in the end,
Yeah.
but it's hours and hours and hours of literally backbreaking practice. It's
Yes.
it's it's so many hours of just riding that track alone. No one's there to see you, you know. So you have to pursue this not with a mindset where I just say, okay, it's racing, let me try this. No, it's not
Yeah.
going to work out like that. You have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
You have to get up, you have to work out, you have to keep yourself fit. You've got to go back and do the same move nearly 1,000 times before it becomes part of who you are.
Yeah.
So it's very tough. Racing people think, okay, I'm sitting on the bike. How tough can this be? I'm sorry, but if you're spinning a bike, circle after circle, track after track, you realize that this is as exhausting as
Yeah.
any other sport. So you have to be
Exactly.
committed. You have to be very focused in what you want to do. It can't be like, chalo, today I'll just ride the bike. No,
Yeah.
it's not going to work out. You
Yeah.
have to all the time be at it. You have to like eat racing, you have to sleep racing, you have to breathe racing, you have to just want to be racing. That's how,
Yeah.
you follow this thing.
Exactly.
Because it's not
So,
easy. I can tell you that it's not easy. You may be sitting on a motorcycle, but nah, it's not easy. It is very, very painful at times. Your entire
yeah.
body takes a huge beating. Yeah.
So about physical health, Madhu. So what would you
Mm-hmm.
do for the physical fitness and everything? Because when we have a race, we have to ride continuously for the 4 days, like practice, qualifying, and everything. So we have to ride
Yeah.
continuously for the 4 days. For me, I really need 2 days after the race, okay, to actually rest up myself. So
Very
how
true.
your body is supporting and everything? Like what's your physical
Um,
man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think physical fitness for me is not something that I do maybe say 2 weeks before the race or 1 month. It's something it's an ongoing process. So you're keeping
Mhm.
fit throughout the year. And for a
Okay,
sport like racing, you need to have a very strong heart.
exactly.
It is a lot of cardio. So your focus is on cardio. Your strength has to be very good. Your muscle strength, especially your core,
Yeah,
your abdomen, that area. Your thighs have to be very strong because you're
yeah,
controlling the bike with your inner thighs and your core. So muscle fitness, muscle strength, that's very important, and also a lot of cardio. You've got to have your heart is probably beating at 150 when you're on the track, and especially
yeah.
when you know you're going to make a mistake. That's like a heart
So,
attack.
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Especially if it comes very close or something. Oh God, heart
Even
stops
after
beating.
finishing the race, also heart will be like
Yeah,
pounding. Yeah,
yeah,
like in hell. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And you're right. After we finish our 4 days at the track, it literally takes 2 to 3 days just to come back, because that's the amount of physical strain we've taken. So yeah, fitness is something I would say you sort of do it throughout the year. I mean, we have 6 months before we get into the racing season, which is June onwards.
yeah,
So from Jan to May, you can't say, no, I'm going to get fit only in May. No. So you're building the fitness, you're building stamina, you're building your cardio strength, you're building your muscle strength, and that's not something you can do just overnight. So it's a
yeah.
constant, it's a constant,
Process. Yes.
keep fit.
So what
Yeah.
about what about your mental health, Madhu? Because before race, there's lots of pressure because each and every one on the grid they need to be in the first. Like they used to think like we need to be in the first, and what you tell yourself to calm down.
For me, music works. I
Mm-hmm.
I just plug in music. I have certain songs that I like to listen to which calm me down. So that's one. Music really helps me. And there'll also be a time when I just go off quietly for somewhere for 10 minutes and just, isolate myself and just focus on all my technique and whatever I need to go through. So that helps me down. And like physical fitness, Harita, mental fitness is also something that you develop, throughout
It's
the
equally
season and
important.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something that, okay, tomorrow's the race, let me do yoga and meditation and I'm good to go. No, it's not going
No.
to work like that.
Yeah.
So you're mentally also working with yourself in the 6 months before you actually start racing. So
Mm-hmm.
there are, and I think each rider has his or her own way of calming down. So that I don't think what works for one person will work for me, and
Yeah, I used to
vice versa.
sleep before the race.
Exactly, very
Yeah.
critical. You have to. And many times we notice that we don't get sleep.
Yeah. I'll just
Because
plug on my earbuds and I'll just sleep on the mat.
very,
That's all.
yeah,
For
absolutely,
1 hour,
absolutely.
I'll put alarm because if I overslept, I'll miss it. No. So I'll just keep
Yeah,
alarm for the safety and I'll sleep.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So music works for me. I think that's something that calms me down. And I have a particular set of songs that I listen to that, one will calm me down and two will charge me up. Because I need
Yeah,
both.
even I have the playlist too. Yes. So
Yeah,
next question, Madhu. Um,
yeah.
what are some things you should avoid during races?
During the race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's a food or yeah, food is like definitely changing, right? Because I used to eat banana not every day, but before race I used to eat banana and that energy drinks and all the stuffs. So
Mhm.
what would you not do before the race?
In terms of food alone, actually, at the time before the race, I have a diet which I follow. The higher on the protein, less on the carbs. You have to
Yeah.
sacrifice so much of your favorite food. My favorite idli and dosa and everything go flying.
Yeah,
But during the races, I don't keep a food restriction. I will really go out and eat because I need a lot of energy. So
exactly.
during races, I I mean, I don't follow the strict food regime that I
True.
follow when I'm sort of pre-races. Yeah, yeah.
I used
So
to avoid
for me,
eating before the race because when we tuck in,
yes,
it will
that
come
doesn't
out.
work.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I
yes.
used
So
to
I
avoid
will
that.
finish eating, say about 1.5 hours before my actual race. I do that,
Exactly. Yeah.
and
Or
before I
after
hit
the
the
race.
track,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, before I hit
Yeah.
the track, I like to have a little chocolate.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
So
Even
I normally
I
I
used to keep the Snickers every time in my bag.
even
It
I
will be like
oh
both
no
white
way.
Snickers there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Chocolate's craving.
And a bit of
So
I hydrate before I start racing because we lose a lot of water.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, whatever my glucose or
We'll
my
have.
the ORS, yeah, take a bit of that and that's it. Hit the track.
Okay. So was your family so supportive? Like your husband and your parents and all, like are they supportive? Even your kids. Yeah, I forgot about your kids too. So yes.
Okay, I'm a single mom,
Hmm.
so there's no
Oh,
husband.
okay. Oh, then fine.
Yeah,
You're enjoying your life. Get on the road.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, my kids always support me. So
That's the main
mom
thing
and dad.
actually. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. Mom is a person who now she's started, yeah, okay, this is good. Dad
Yeah.
is very neutral. I think he's more
Yeah.
scared.
Dad is
Yeah,
dad,
but my kids, yeah, my
they're
kids support
supportive.
me a lot. Yeah, they come to the
So your
track, they
son's
watch me race.
asking, your son loves bike, no?
They don't, both of them ride. Dia is also in the learning phase. They both ride. My son also rides, but I don't think they share the same, race craze as the mama.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you and your son gonna be race soon.
I was
So that would
hoping
be
so.
fun.
I was
You
hoping
know,
so.
yeah.
And I also tell Dia to hit the track. Yeah.
So how did your family react when you started racing? Like when I started racing, I went my father and I said him like, Dad, I want to go into the racing and all the stuff. He reacted exactly. I mean, like, no, no, don't go to race and all that stuff. So how did your parents? I mean, like, not your parents, like your family reacted, the whole family.
When I started racing, I was already 44.
Oh, okay.
When I started actually track learning. All these years I've been just riding and touring and doing all sorts of mad things on the bike. But actual track I started in 2017 when I underwent the training with the CSS, the Superbike California Superbike School. So that's the first time I actually went onto the track. And after that it's no
Mm.
turning back. And my kids said, I told them, I said, Mama's going to be like 45 years old and I'm going to try this. And they said, sure. So
So
they motivated
supportive.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how
they
did
said,
your
why not?
kids reacted after the crash? Even
Uh,
like recently you had a crash and you broke your hands and all that. So how did they
yeah,
react
those
and how
very
did
tough.
they support you? Yeah.
Yeah. So after the crash, I called my kids right away, and I said, "Mom's had a small crash," and
Okay.
so my kids said, "Mama, how many bones are broken?" So I said, "I think just one," and then my kids were like, "That's okay. You have 206."
Oh my God, so sweet.
That's
Okay, nice,
okay.
nice.
That's okay. Mama, get up and ride.
Great. Ah, nice. So what inspired you to become a racer despite all the challenges you have faced? Because even when you ride and all, you have faced so many challenges like uh, the guys always dominates us, why are you riding like you are a girl, just go sit in the home, and so many things are there. So how did you
Yeah.
face all that and how did you come up everything?
Um, See, challenges are always going to be there, I think, in any sport, right? Not
Yeah,
just motorsport.
yes,
And one
exactly.
of the best ways to overcome any challenge that you have is with the set of people who are around you and supporting you.
Exactly, yes.
That itself is a little team on its own. And when you have the support and backing of that particular team, that's a good way to, e- overcome whatever challenges you face. Like
Yeah,
for example, if I want to do a particular sport, I can list out a whole lot of things and say, okay, so this, my age is against me, or I may not be physically fit, or I'm already 47 years old. What if I break a bone? It's not going to heal faster, I can make one long list and tell my mind that this is not going to work.
you can compromise. Yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's the first thing in terms of the challenge is that you tell yourself that no,
that you can do it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna put I'm gonna put all this aside and I'm
Huh.
gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying. So I think that one thing is very critical that you have the mind to do it.
Yes, exactly.
It's not to the challenges around you. Yes, when I broke my thumb, it took almost a year for it to get fixed again. You know,
Yes.
but that will not stop me from riding this year's nationals.
Yeah.
because in my mind, I've already overcome that challenge. And there are definitely a lot of other challenges at my age. To keep fit is, it's sometimes a bit of a challenge. It's a bit painful,
Yeah.
but you have to go at it. Yeah, you don't give up. You just don't give up. I think that's the greatest way to face any challenge, that you say, I'm not going to give up and I'm going to do this, till I hit that finish line, till I see that checkered flag. I am going to
Yes.
ride. Even when I've fallen off the bike, the first thing I do is I get up and see if I can ride back. And if I can ride, then I ride. I will
Yep.
not just, unless I'm seriously injured and the ambulance has to pick me up, or my bike's like totally conked. No, I will get up and I will ride again. I might come in
Yeah.
last, obviously, but I'm still
But
going to
still,
finish
it's
that
okay.
race.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's the important thing. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, next question, Madhu. How did
Yeah.
you know make up yourself mind to join racing despite the risk involved in the racing field? Like racing is so dangerous and everything. So how did you make up your
Yes.
mind?
I think it's just love for motorcycles.
Yeah,
Like
but
I tell a
speed.
lot of people, when you're doing something as long as 40 years, the way I've done it. I mean, I've been with motorcycles for 40 years. So when you are sorry, when you are doing something for so long, and when you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you say to yourself, is the bike ready? I think that's when you know you love it, and that's the only thing that will keep you going, you know.
Yes.
So like I told my children, I said, one question my kids asked me was, Mama, aren't you a bit, just out of a joke, okay? So they just said, Mama, aren't you a little too old? I mean, aren't the other guys like half your age who are going to be racing with you? I said, yeah, that's true. That's true. They're all half my age, or probably, younger than half my age. But the bike doesn't understand age.
Exactly.
You see? So you just get up and ride. That's it. It's just love. It's pure love.
Right, Madhu, 1 minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you think there are not more women involved in the racing field?
Sorry, Harita, what was that again?
Why do you think there are not so many women to compete? Like we have only 9 to 10 women in our category. So why women are not interested in motorsport? Like they are not supporting, or why don't they come up like us? Kind of. Did you understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? Yeah.
I got it. I got it. Basically, you're asking me, like, why aren't there more women sports riders in this field, right? In motorsports, especially in biking. Yeah. I would think one of the main thing that prevents, maybe not the rider herself, maybe the people around her who think is, yeah, this is a dangerous thing, you know. There's a good chance that one, like we say, it's better you die than get seriously injured and then have to deal with that for the rest of your life. I think it's the danger factor, or the high risk that is associated with motorsports, that could be one factor that doesn't allow too many
Restrict
women to come
themselves.
into racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a dangerous sport. It definitely is, because when you're flying in at those kind of speeds and something goes wrong, and oh dear. Yeah, I think it's just the nature of the sport itself. And also motorsports, I think is a sport in India which does not have enough credit. It's not a sport that gets publicized a lot. It's not a sport that everyone wants to sponsor so easily. So a lot of the times, the rider may be very skilled. The rider, and I have seen many fantastically talented riders at the circuit itself. And I think it may be a financial issue as well, because this is an expensive sport, and if you don't have someone to sponsor you, then whoa, that's all going from
It's
your
like a
money.
lot of money.
Uh, yeah, I think so.
Anyways.
I would think mainly two things, and I think another third thing is the amount of encouragement that could be given to a woman racer. Maybe there's not a lot of people to encourage that particular young lady rider. So maybe, I don't know. These are, I'm just thinking top of my head.
Thanks. Um, what does it take to be a woman racer in such male-dominant sport?
A lot of guts.
Exactly. Correct.
You need a lot of guts. You need a lot of guts. You need a lot of drive, a lot of dedication, and you need to keep going at it. You just have to go at it. Yeah. And like
But
I
I
said,
want to,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
want to
Tell me,
ask you
Harika.
something, Madhu. In race track, how do boys treat you?
How do boys treat me?
Yeah, because there are
Well,
so many boys compared to girls. There are like only 15 to 20 girls compared to boys. The
yeah.
boys are like 100 plus, right? So how do boys treat you in the track?
I've had mixed reactions. I've had reactions where boys and men have come up and said, "Wow, wonderful, inspiring and great to see," all of that. And I've also had reactions like, "Maybe you need to go home. Maybe go make idli dosa."
And everything like that stupid
Yeah.
advices and yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the times, see, this is my standard response, okay? So a lot of the times when a guy comes up to me and says, "Oh, you ride a bike." So I say like, "No, I don't ride, I race it."
Oh my God, that's swag actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that too. Because so many boys,
Yeah.
they'll keep asking me like, "You're so thin, so lean. Like, how do you handle your bike and all?" I'm saying, "Yeah, okay, that's okay. I can manage myself. You don't want to worry about it." Like, so I
Exactly.
used to fight with them. But this is swag. I'll tell them next time.
Yeah. So
Yeah, as a woman
next time,
racer,
that's all you need to say, like, "No, I don't ride motorcycles, I race
I
them."
race. Yeah, that's nice actually. So, as a woman racer, what are the
Mm.
challenges you face during races?
As a
Like,
woman racer.
yeah, because MMC is doing a favor for girls also these days. But
Hmm.
back in, they don't have a perfect restroom, everything. So there are so many difficulties there. We can't use sanitary napkins and all because they are not provided. So we have to buy it from the outside. So what are the difficulties you are facing in the racetrack? Like
Um,
you can suggest something to MMC that they can keep this or that, like that.
I think women's hygiene generally is a concern in India overall. That's one of the nightmares even when we tour, we are flying 600 cc bikes, 1000 cc bikes, and then you realize, oh shucks, I don't have a toilet. So that's something common throughout the country. So I don't know how that's going to change overnight. But I think overall, if we look in terms of what the future is, rather than go back and say, okay, we didn't have these facilities and we didn't have that, and if we have a forward thinking approach, then us as women riders can get together and speak to the club and tell them like, these are the things that we would appreciate, and these are the things that will help us. I think that's a better way of looking to go forward and say, these are our suggestions, that these are the things that women racers would really appreciate, because these are the things that will help us out. So I think that is a better frame to work from.
Yeah. So how did you achieve your goals despite the struggle you faced? Like, what are your
Mm,
goals first, and what goals you have
sorry,
achieved? What's your goal,
sorry, honey.
and can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah. Um, how did you achieve your goals despite the struggle you faced?
Okay. So when I started when I took my first training in 2017, I had one goal in mind. I said I wanted to be India's senior most woman rider. I'm not going to use the word oldest. I'm going to say senior most or mature. So I want to be India's most mature woman rider to qualify for the nationals. That was my
Oh,
first
that
goal.
you did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said this is the first step in my journey to being a racer. So that's what I want to do. I want to qualify to the national level. And I did that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
And
I did
you are in
that.
a good place too. You finished the race
Yes,
and everything. You
yes.
are in a good position though. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So,
Last year was very good. 2019 was very good for me. Even though I had crashed and I missed a couple of rounds, but I knew that the first part of the goal that I wanted to achieve was achieved in the sense that I did qualify and I came on to the national scene as India's senior most rider. So that was a big thing for me, personal goal.
so, describe your experience during the crash. So, how much
Uh,
struggle you faced, like during the crash when you broke your thumb and all. What struggle you faced?
when I crashed, it was a very magical moment because I was just lying on the ground and I could see the sky. And I blinked my eyes and the sky blinked with me. And I said, okay, the first good news is I'm alive.
Yeah.
So I wasn't dead. So that was good. Then immediately within a couple of seconds, my instinct is like I straight away got up and just got off the track so that no other bike comes and hits you from the back or whatever it was that seeing. So that was the experience. And when you crash, it all happens so fast. I think 9 out of 10 you don't know what the hell happened. So it's good. It's not too bad. But one of the best things I learned from the crash was you're not going to be scared anymore. As long as you don't crash that bike, this is personally, I don't know how it is for other racers, but personally, you always have that fear, oh God, if I crash, oh God, if I crash. So when you crash, then you realize, hey, this is not so bad. And then crashing
Yeah,
becomes easier.
exactly.
Yeah, but it was a good experience. It was, I knew I had hurt my hand because that immediate, you get that shooting pain. So I knew something's gone wrong. But immediately I checked if my neck and back and all of that was okay. So I realized that that's okay. And yeah, so I just got off. I quickly, ambulance had come in. So it was okay. Not too bad.
Yes. So, some tips to the young women racers, like who likes to race and who are interested in racing, but they can't because of family and stuff. So, what you want to advise them or some tips to them?
Okay. Point number one, I'll put it down in points. Point number one,
Yeah.
you need to convince yourself that you want to do this. Forget about everybody else. All right? The first person who decides that I want to race is you.
Yeah.
So that comes from you. After you've decided that this is what I want to do, the next thing is you go towards that dream, which means you start your training, you start finding out how this works. If you have to buy your bike, you buy it. If you have to get your gear, you get your gear. You start making contacts with people. You start following races. You watch videos. There's so much on YouTube these days. You go to the track, and you join your local whatever go-kart track you have in your city because India has only 3 tracks nationally. So you then start moving in the direction towards becoming a racer. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's
Yeah.
not like, okay, I just trained today and then I'm going to race. No, it's a journey. So like with any other journey, you plan it out. You prepare. You prepare yourself physically. You prepare yourself
Mentally.
mentally. You prepare your bike. Your bike also needs a lot of preparation. There are a lot of things that you need to do and maintain your bike. So that's one. You then prepare your team. If you're going to race with a team of people, then you get your team together. If you can get yourself sponsored, nothing like it. Though it's not easy right away when you get into the field. You have to be, very good to get your sponsors, etc. But you prepare yourself. Lot of the work that you do in racing is preparation, just like with any other sport. You have to be dedicated to that cause. For example, when I started, I said I did not start my training saying I'm going to win the race. No, I didn't do that because I knew I was not being realistic. If I started off and said, first time I'm going to go on the podium, that would have been sheer luck, you know. But I had a better way to approach it, in the sense I broke up the goal. I said, I want to, in the first year, qualify. And that gave me less pressure, right? So anyone who wants to enter the sport, you have to read a lot about it. That's another thing that most people need to understand. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of technique, and this is a skill. This is an art. This is a science, just like any other sport. So you need
Yeah,
to be aware about it. You need to be aware about how machines work. End of the day, this is not a sport where it's only you. This is a man and a machine sport, or a woman and a machine sport.
yeah.
So as much as you're preparing yourself with the machine,
Yeah.
right? And one more thing about racing is your opportunity to practice, unfortunately, becomes less, because you're not
Yes,
going to get the track all the time.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. So then you have to figure out, if you have a go-kart track, or if you have an open area which is safe. You can't practice on the road.
yeah.
100% no. No honest and fair and good rider will say that I can practice on the road. No, the road is not for
Can't,
practice.
because there is no corner, nothing. And we are
Yeah.
disturbing so many other peoples as well.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So you need to identify a local track, a small go-kart track, or a strip of, a small road, or an area, a little playground, where it's totally safe, so that you don't hurt yourself or anybody else. So you have to prepare. There are lots of things to do, and you have to break it down step by step, and work towards each step, and keep that motivation strong. Nobody is going to come and motivate you. You have to motivate
changing.
yourself.
Yeah.
You have to say, yeah, you have to always say, like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do. So you're going to fall, you're going to break a bone. So what? You get it fixed, and then you get back
We
on the
have
bike.
so much of medical thing now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the reality of this sport. And also, you need to get yourself good gear. That's very important. So you're going to need to have to keep your pocket money aside and say that I'm buying this good gear, because that's something that literally protects you, right?
So, last question, Madhu.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for those who compromises on safety gears? Like
No,
even in
never,
roads
never.
also, they are not putting the helmets and anything. So, what would you like to say to them?
Absolutely not. Never, never. I tell my children the same thing. When you buy a good mobile phone, when you buy an expensive mobile phone, what is the first thing you do? You put a screen guard, right? And then you get yourself a nice case. Why do you do that?
To
In
protect
case
the
it
phone.
drops.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with riding, there is no, I can wear this later. No, 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 no. In riding, when you're on a motorcycle, you have to keep, I would think, four things in mind. One, your safety. Two, the safety of another human being around you. Three, the safety of the environment. You can't call yourself a racer and a good biker and you go and whack the dog on the road, or, you just run over the kitten. No, I don't think so. So that's life. So you need to respect that. And the third thing and the last thing is, you have to respect your bike. Your bike is like a living thing as well. So any
Yeah.
person who's serious about motorcycles will realize that I cannot compromise with my gear. Wearing a helmet, wearing my knee pads, wearing my jacket, these things you don't compromise. Okay, if you don't have a fancy brands, or if you don't have expensive stuff, that's okay, not an issue. But you must get yourself a good helmet. In the end, it's one head, and that's part of the body which controls the rest of the body, so it's very critical. And it's not stylish. I tell youngsters the same thing. It's not stylish to ride without a helmet.
Protect you. It doesn't have to be stylish. It would.
Sorry,
Protect you. Yeah, can you hear me?
sorry, Harita, I'm losing the audio here.
Yeah. Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, it has to protect you, not for style
Yes,
purposes. Yes.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. The gear that you're wearing is totally for your protection.
Yeah.
It makes you feel safe, and sometimes as simple thing like People say, I ask people, why do you wear a helmet? And they say, like, to protect my head. Okay, the answer is good, protect your head. A lot of people don't realize it protects your eyes, it protects your teeth, it protects your nose, it protects your jaws, it's protecting your ears. If you get whacked high speed on your ears, you're going to get deaf. So helmet is not just your head, it's the entire face. It's this portion at the back of your neck as well. These are all sensitive areas. So without gear, no, I don't think it's stylish at all. Another very important thing on the bike is I think any good racer or anyone who takes a two-wheeler, you will never take it under the influence of alcohol
Yeah.
or any other, addictive substance. No, I don't think it's cool to get drunk and then try and ride your bike. No, not cool. Not cool.
First, actually, it's not safe for
Yeah.
you as well, for the others also. Yeah,
Yes, yes, absolutely. It is life-threatening for everyone around you.
for
So
everyone. Yeah.
gear is something, no, you never compromise on your riding gear. Never.
So that's all. Thank you so much for spending your time on this live. You gave so much nice answer, and thank you so much, Madhu. You are
You're
such an
welcome,
inspiration.
Harita.
I just need to tell you that. Because when my father said, like, after marriage, you have to quit racing, okay? I said yes first. But now I'm not compromising. Even after
Yeah.
marriage, I'll try to race. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. If it's in your
Yeah.
blood and you're born to do it, then nobody can stop that. Yeah. Thanks, Harita. Thanks for
Thank you
having
so
me
much.
here. It's been a
Thank you
pleasure
so much.
talking to you. And I'm going to see you on the track very soon.
Yeah, sure. We'll meet there.
So good luck
Bye
for your
bye.
training, good luck for the
Yeah,
nationals. Yeah. And see you there very soon.
yeah, sure, Madhu, sure. Be safe
Thanks
because
a
of the
lot,
corona.
Harita.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.